I just have a first question for you. You said that you could look at the Earth and the Moon in the same time, right? Did you ever watch the other side, the dark universe?
Oh,
and
yeah.
if you did, what was it like? What did you feel?
That's probably the most important thing I saw on a flight. There was a portion of the trajectory behind the moon, off to the side, where I was in the shadow of the sun, and I was also in the shadow of the earth. So there's absolutely no light from the sun or the earth on me. And at that point, I could see a universe that I never expected, blew my mind, absolutely phenomenal, because I could see so many stars. In fact, I saw so many stars. There were so many stars out there that I couldn't pick out a star. We had 37 of the brightest stars in the sky that we used for navigation.
Yeah.
I could not find one because all I saw was white light, just a sheet of white light. And that made me think a lot about where we are, what the universe is all about, and just a couple of numbers. Turns out that we are a planet, a solar system in the Milky Way galaxy. We are part of the Milky Way. We're part of the way out on an arm of the Milky Way galaxy, and we look through it sideways. We see it sideways. That's why if you see the Milky Way in the sky, you see kind of a long trail of stars. What a lot of people do not understand is that the number of stars in the Milky Way galaxy is 400 billion, with a B. 400 billion stars in our own little galaxy. And then you realize that there are 200 billion galaxies out there that we know about. And that says nothing about the ones we don't know about. We can only imagine what it's like based on the things we can see and touch and weigh and measure. And that's as far as we go with our ideas about space. And it's kind of interesting. Many years ago, if I were to go through this conversation with an astronomer, the last question would be, okay, we got lots and lots of galaxies, we got lots and lots of this, that. How many universes are there? And the answer would always come back, you must be joking. There's only one. Today, you ask astronomers the same question, go through that whole discussion, you ask them the same question, and they'll say, we really don't know. So they're beginning to understand that there may be a universe out there that we can't see, but we're beginning to realize that it's probably there. And it could be another universe. We could end up with 200 billion universes if we really figured it all out. Anyway, that's a long answer to your question, I know.
No, that was perfect. Thank you. An astronaut told me that stars had colors in space. Is that true?
They have what?
Colors. They are blue, yellow.
Well, no. It depends on how you see the stars. If you see the stars with your naked eye, it's just white. If you see a picture taken by Hubble, it's all color. And that's because the Hubble film or digital process can pick up the wavelengths of the color in these various things. And so you see these, like the Horsehead Nebula, you see gorgeous pictures of stars out there, patterns, and their color. Yeah, but you don't see it with an eye.
Okay. I heard that you got bored on board when you were around the moon and that you wrote poetry. Is that true?
No, that's not true. No. I was too busy to do anything except do my job. What happened, kind of interesting, when we came back from the flight, we would spend all day long debriefing.
Yeah.
I would go over to the center early in the morning, and we would question and answer, debrief all day long. I was a bachelor, I'd go back to my apartment at night, and there'd be a party. All my neighbors, they're drinking up all my liquor. I mean, you know, they're helping themselves to everything. But I finally had to say at like 11 o'clock at night, please go home. I got to get up in the morning and go debrief. That lasted for 2 weeks. At the end of 2 weeks, I was totally mentally and physically exhausted. And it was absolutely unbelievable. I would sit in my apartment at night, turn all the lights out, take a piece of paper and a pen, and just write whatever came to my mind. And it became a book of poetry. And it was unbelievable to me. It was like I was being channeled.
And we can buy it somewhere? This poetry?
No. The book was published a long time ago.
Oh.
The only place you could find it probably would be on Amazon.
Okay.
Or eBay or someplace like that. It's a book called Hello Earth, Greetings from Endeavor, which was my spacecraft. There's a story about that that's interesting too.
Great.
I'm making this too easy for you.
Yeah, sure.
I had a wonderful, wonderful human being was my instructor of geology. He came from Egypt. His name was Farouk Elbaz, a wonderful person. And he helped us with a lot of things other than just the geology because he was very interested in all these things. So Farouk and I were probably having a drink, talking about this, that, and the other thing. And I said, you know, Farouk, I'd really like to do something that's out of the ordinary, that doesn't hurt anything, but would make our flight much more personal to everybody back on Earth. And so in the discussion, we came up with this idea of Hello Earth, Greetings from Endeavor. And Farouk went off then and transcribed that into 20 different languages so that I could read them phonetically. And every time I came around the side of the Earth, I got the next one in line and I read Hello Earth, Greetings from Endeavor in Arabic, in Russian, in Spanish, in French, in German, and right on down the line. So every time I went around the moon, I said that back to Earth, and it got to be quite a thing.
And you were the one who didn't walk on the moon. How was the choice? I mean, you were 3, and you decided alone, or how did it come?
Well, it was kind of a natural selection.
Oh.
We had a fire at the Cape in '67. We lost Apollo 1. They had the fire.
Oh, yeah.
They organized a team to rebuild the spacecraft and take all the flammable materials out, build a new hatch, do all that kind of stuff. I was on that team because I was one of the more experienced engineers in my group.
Okay.
That was the command module. So I spent roughly a year and a half at the company that built the command module going through all of that. I knew the command module better than anybody in the program when I finished that. So it was pretty natural for me to be the command module pilot. But the thing that was important about that is that the professional progression in the program was that you get in the program, you become an engineer to help some crew, you get on a backup crew, and then you get your own flight. If you're a command module pilot and you get your own flight, then the next step is to be a commander. If you're a lunar module pilot, you don't fly anything.
Yeah.
So to become a commander, now you've got to learn 2 complete vehicles. Very, very tough to do. Only one person did that. That was Gene Cernan. He did that. He was a commander on Apollo 17. Okay. All the other commanders were command module pilots before they became commanders. So when we talk about the attention given to those on the surface as opposed to the command module pilot, that's fine. But in the program, the best path to being a commander was what I did.
All right, thank you. And when you lifted off, you were in space. And what did you feel when you said to yourself, well, I'm going to the moon. I'm on my way. I mean...
I never said that.
Oh.
I said, what's the next thing on the checklist?
Yeah,
and that's what we did.
Of course.
We were totally occupied with what we had to do.
So you didn't have time to think about it.
You never think about it. I tell you what, it's a little like going to a movie. You go into a movie and you watch a movie and you get absorbed and you get all into the movie.
Yeah.
But when the movie's over, you back out in the real world again. A space flight going to the moon, we were so busy doing things that we didn't get a chance to think about that until we came back.
Okay. Okay. Did you ever meet Margaret Hamilton and Katherine Johnson?
Who?
Margaret Hamilton and Katherine Johnson, the mathematicians.
Oh,
and
you're talking about hidden
engineers.
figures.
Yeah, about the hidden figures.
Well, I didn't meet them, but I met the girls that played their part in the movie.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, yeah. They were cute. I had no problem with that. How many people have seen Hidden Figures? Quite a few. Okay. Very good movie. Very good movie. They did a wonderful job. Too bad it's not true.
No, it's not.
There's a lot of it that is make-believe because they had to make a movie that captured the attention of the marketplace. It's not too far off. It's just that there was no 2-mile walk to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
that's
I know. Yeah.
That's kind of part of it.
Yes.
But yes, those women did do the mathematics, calculating trajectories, that kind of thing. They did do that. Segregation was real and alive in Virginia back then. Probably not as severe as the movie showed, because I think everybody recognized how important those girls were. But they were wonderful role models for everybody who came after them. And of course, obviously, eventually they were no longer needed because we had computers to do the same thing. But they were great.
Let's talk about the future now. Did you ever heard about the Moon Village project from the European Space Agency?
Oh, I know what. Yeah, I know some of it. I don't know all of it.
What do you think about it?
Well, one really good reason to go back to the moon would be to stay there for a while.
Yeah.
To build some kind of a domicile that would be safe. We need to find out what it will take to live in a hostile environment on another planetary body over a long period of time. We need to figure out how to do that. And the moon's probably as good a place to do that as any. My personal opinion about what we need to do at the moon, that village should be on the backside of the moon.
Yeah, sure. To do astronomy.
Because what we need to build on the backside of the moon is the largest radio telescope we've ever built. Yeah. Low gravity, very easy to build. We could build a huge, and then we could find out a lot more about the rest of the universe out there. But it has to be on the backside. Yeah.
If you could go to the moon right now, would you go?
Sure.
Can I go with you?
Let me answer that a little different way. I've had a lot of people ask me, what kind of people should we send to Mars?
Yeah.
Me. Okay.
You want to go to Mars?
Why should they pick you? Because I'm an old guy. Who cares? If I come back or not?
I do.
Nobody cares. Well, come on. I'm not 29. Let's say that.
Okay.
The other thing is, I think I would have a real problem going for a year and a half being celibate.
Really?
Now, I'm 85 and I don't give a rat. But, okay, I will watch TV all day long. If I was 29, I'd have other things I'd be wanting to do. So it's good to send an old guy. My eyesight is better far distance than it used to be. That's a good point. Space flight is very easy on you. That's a good point. I'm old enough so that if something happens and I might not make it back, only my family would care. So those are some of the facts. I think if we send young people to Mars, it better be a mixed crew.
And I hope there will be women and men.
Of course.
Oh, okay.
Better do it.
Yeah.
Right.
Thank you, Worden.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay.